Everyone, today we're maybe thankful for our history. Give ear, O my people, to my teaching. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth, things that we have heard and known that our ancestors have told us. We will not hide them from our children. We will tell to the coming generation the glorious deeds of the Lord and his might and the wonders that he has done. He established a decree in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our ancestors to teach to their children, that the next generation might know them, children yet unborn, and rise up and tell them to their children, so that they should set their hope in God, and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. So they should not be like their ancestors, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation whose heart was not steadfast, whose spirit was not thankful to God. So this is a psalm of praise that focuses on Israel's history. They're thanking or praising God for what God has done. And so often the way they talk about it is not just what God did for them, the people in the past, it's what God has done for us. This is our story. It reminds us that this is not a religion of timeless truths, but it's about a God who has acted in specific times and specific places for specific people. So this is only the start of this psalm. It's a pretty long one that tells a lot of the Exodus story. And as you maybe gathered towards the end of our reading, it gets pretty negative. God did this for us, and then we messed up over and over. We weren't faithful. We didn't listen. Telling history often means telling uncomfortable things, right? If you're telling a history that only makes your group look good, you're probably being kind of dishonest. And the point in all of that is not just to make people feel bad, it's so that they'll learn. You heard again over and over that this is about teaching our children, that they need to know this story, hopefully so that they can do better. But if we want them to avoid the mistakes of the past, we have to be honest about what those mistakes really were. So how do we tell our history? It's pretty important in this Thanksgiving week. We've heard these myths about happy meals between pilgrims and Native Americans, and that does give us an ideal that we can strive for of diversity and inclusion. But the truth about those relationships historically, well, that's not so easy and pleasant. And that past still has ripple effects today, so we can't ignore them. How God has been at work in our country is very different from how God worked in Israel. But if we are going to resist being a stubborn and rebellious generation, let us tell our own history truthfully so that we can work towards real healing and find something to truly be thankful for.